Cleveland Cavaliers versus Orlando Magic. The race across the Eastern Conference tightens as the 40-25 Cleveland Cavaliers, sitting second in the Central Division, travel to face the 35-28 Orlando Magic, leaders of the Southeast Division. Cleveland enters with momentum and a season series advantage after winning the first two meetings, including a 119-105 victory in Orlando and a 114-98 win in Cleveland. The matchup carries playoff implications. Cleveland is pushing to solidify positioning among the conference's upper tier, while Orlando continues protecting its divisional lead. The numbers lean slightly toward the visitors. Cleveland holds roughly a 61.7% projected edge, but Orlando's strong home form and recent surge make this far from settled. Cleveland brings one of the league's most balanced attacks, averaging 118.7 points per game on 47% shooting, while Orlando counters with 115.1 points on 46% from the field. The Cavaliers also hold a narrow statistical edge across the board: 44.3 rebounds to Orlando's 43.7, 28.3 assists to 26.5, along with slightly better production in steals, 8.8 versus 8.6, and blocks, 5.2 versus 5.1. Defensively, Orlando has the slight advantage in points allowed, surrendering 113.6 per game compared to Cleveland's 114.6. Cleveland's offense flows through Donovan Mitchell, who leads the team with 28.4 points, 5.8 assists, and 1.6 steals per game, shooting 48.2% from the field and 85.4% from the free throw line. Inside, Evan Mobley anchors both ends with 17.7 points, 8.6 rebounds, and 1.9 blocks, providing Cleveland's rim protection and rebounding presence. The Cavaliers' offense also benefits from strong secondary scoring and playmaking depth, helping sustain their high assist numbers and pace. Orlando counters with its own centerpiece in Paolo Banchero, averaging 22.2 points and 8.6 rebounds while shooting 46.5% from the floor and 77.2% at the line. He powers the Magic offense with physical drives and half-court scoring. Jalen Suggs directs the backcourt with 13.8 points, 5.3 assists, and 1.9 steals, bringing defensive pressure and transition playmaking. Around them, Orlando leans on versatile wings and interior help from Wendell Carter Jr. and Goga Bitadze to stabilize the defense and rebounding battle. Both teams arrive in strong form. Cleveland has won 4 of its last 5, highlighted by victories over Detroit twice, Brooklyn, and Philadelphia, with its only recent setback coming in overtime against Detroit. Orlando enters even hotter, winning 4 straight after defeating Milwaukee, Minnesota, Dallas, and Washington. The Magic offense has exploded during that stretch, scoring 119 or more points in 3 of those games, signaling rising confidence heading into this matchup. The centerpiece duel belongs to Mitchell and Banchero, 2 stars who define their teams in different ways. Mitchell's scoring efficiency and perimeter shot creation give Cleveland a dynamic offensive engine capable of breaking down defenses from anywhere on the floor. Banchero, meanwhile, thrives through power and versatility, attacking the paint, drawing contact, and creating space for Orlando's shooters. Mitchell operates with pace and perimeter precision. Banchero controls tempo through physical half-court scoring. Their production will dictate the rhythm of the game. Tactically, Cleveland's advantage lies in its offensive fluidity and ball movement. The Cavaliers generate nearly 2 more assists per game, suggesting a slightly more connected offensive system capable of producing quality shots across the roster. Orlando's path to control comes through defensive pressure and rebounding discipline, slowing Cleveland's pace while allowing Banchero to operate in structured half-court possessions. Rim protection will be a key variable. Mobley's shot-blocking presence could limit Orlando's interior scoring, while the Magic will rely on Carter Jr. and Bitadze to counter Cleveland's front-court size. Transition opportunities and turnover margins will also loom large. Whichever team converts defensive stops into fast offense could seize momentum quickly. Bench depth and composure in the closing minutes may ultimately tilt the balance. Cleveland's deeper offensive rotation provides scoring stability if the game stretches into late possessions, while Orlando's energy and defensive intensity at home make them dangerous if they control tempo. A tight Eastern Conference clash is expected, with Orlando's surge and home energy keeping it close, but Cleveland's efficient offense, Mitchell's scoring, and balanced lineup giving them the edge. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Cleveland Cavaliers winner. Cleveland's offensive balance and late-game shot creation proved decisive, allowing the Cavaliers to complete a season sweep while reinforcing their position among the East's contenders. My second pick for this match is total over 223.5, Toronto Raptors versus New Orleans Pelicans. The lights come up in New Orleans with two teams entering this matchup from very different places in the standings. Toronto arrives at 36-27, sitting third in the Atlantic Division and firmly in the Eastern Conference playoff conversation. New Orleans stands at 21-45, near the bottom of the Western Conference Southwest Division, trying to build momentum and confidence late in the season. Despite the gap in records, the projected outcome is razor thin. The win probability sits almost perfectly split, about 50-50, suggesting a matchup where style, execution, and star performances could tip the balance. Toronto looks to reinforce its playoff positioning, while New Orleans aims to turn flashes of offensive firepower into a signature win at home. Toronto brings a balanced offensive structure, averaging 113.7 points per game while shooting 47% from the field. Ball movement defines their attack, producing 29.1 assists per game, one of the more fluid passing offenses in the league. They add 42.6 rebounds, 8.6 steals, and 4.8 blocks, combining pace with active defense. At the center of that system is Brandon Ingram, leading the team with 21.7 points per game while shooting 47% from the field and 82.2% from the free throw line. Scotty Barnes anchors multiple facets of the game: 18.9 points, 7.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.6 blocks, providing two-way versatility. Emmanuel quickly drives the tempo with 17.3 points and 6.2 assists per night, giving Toronto a steady offensive organizer. New Orleans counters with a slightly higher scoring output at 115.5 points per game, though defense has been an issue, allowing 120.2 points. The Pelicans shoot 46% from the field, collect 43.9 rebounds, distribute 25.1 assists, and add 8.8 steals with 5.0 blocks. Their offense is built around dynamic scorers. Trey Murphy III leads with 22.0 points per game, while Zion Williamson contributes 21.5 points and 5.9 rebounds with explosive interior scoring. Saddiq Bey adds 17.5 points, and DeJounte Murray provides playmaking with 16.0 points and 5.3 assists. Inside, Derek Queen controls the glass with 7.1 rebounds and anchors the interior rotation. The defining theme of this matchup is clear: Toronto's ball movement and defensive structure versus New Orleans' high-scoring athletic offense. Recent form adds another layer of intrigue. Toronto has won 3 of its last 5 games, including a convincing 122-92 victory over Dallas and a 134-125 win against Washington, showing their ability to stretch the floor offensively. However, losses to Minnesota and New York exposed moments where defensive consistency wavered. New Orleans has also gone 2-3 in its last 5, but the results have been volatile. They exploded for 138-118 against Washington and 133-123 over Sacramento, demonstrating the ceiling of their offense. Yet defensive lapses surfaced in losses to Phoenix, the Lakers, and the Clippers, where opponents consistently controlled the pace. Momentum therefore feels fragile on both sides, each team capable of big scoring nights, but still searching for sustained rhythm. The spotlight duel centers on Brandon Ingram and Trey Murphy III, two elite scorers capable of swinging the game. Ingram scores with control and efficiency, averaging 21.7 points through mid-range precision, smart shot selection, and self-created offense while fitting smoothly into Toronto's ball movement. Murphy brings a more explosive scoring approach. His 22.0 points per game lead New Orleans, fueled by aggressive perimeter shooting and transition scoring. When Murphy finds rhythm early, the Pelicans' offense accelerates rapidly, stretching defenses and opening driving lanes for Zion Williamson. The contrast is striking. Ingram's methodical scoring versus Murphy's high-tempo shot creation, and whichever star controls the pace of scoring could dictate the flow of the game. This game will hinge on tempo and defense. Toronto relies on ball movement and playmaking from quickly to create efficient shots, while New Orleans thrives in a faster game with transition scoring and Williamson's interior power. Rebounding could be key, as New Orleans' size may create extra possessions, but Toronto can counter with steals and turnovers. Bench depth and injuries may also affect Toronto's rotations. Expect a competitive back-and-forth game, with New Orleans producing scoring bursts, but Toronto's balanced offense and stronger defense potentially giving them the edge. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Toronto Raptors winner. Toronto's structured offense and stronger defensive profile provide the edge. In a matchup that begins evenly, the Raptors' efficiency and composure in key possessions should ultimately separate them late and secure the road victory. My second pick for this match is total over 228.5. New York Knicks versus Utah Jazz. The spotlight shifts to Salt Lake City as the 41-25 New York Knicks, sitting third in the Eastern Conference, step into Delta Center to face the 20-45 Utah Jazz, currently 14th in the West. For New York, every game carries weight in a crowded Eastern playoff race, where seeding and home court advantage remain fiercely contested. Utah, meanwhile, plays the role of spoiler, a young team searching for consistency but capable of explosive nights. The Knicks already delivered a powerful statement in the first meeting of the season, a commanding 146-112 victory, and the numbers suggest they enter this matchup with momentum and a clear edge. The probability metrics heavily favor New York, with roughly an 86% chance projected in their favor. But road games in the NBA are rarely simple, and the Jazz's high-scoring style ensures this won't be a quiet night. On paper, this game pits a disciplined playoff contender against a free-flowing offense still finding its defensive footing. New York arrives with one of the more balanced statistical profiles in the league. The Knicks average 116.9 points per game while allowing just 110.8, pairing efficient scoring with a defense capable of controlling tempo. They shoot 47% from the field, dominate the glass with 46.2 rebounds per game, and generate 27.4 assists, showing a system built on both ball movement and physical interior presence. They also protect possessions well with 13 turnovers per game, while contributing 8.1 steals and 4.0 blocks defensively. Utah's approach is very different. The Jazz actually score slightly more at 117.4 points per game, but defense has been the season-long struggle. They surrender 124.9 points per night, one of the league's highest marks. Their offense emphasizes pace and playmaking, reflected in 29.5 assists per game, while producing 44.1 rebounds, 8.5 steals, and 3.6 blocks. Turnovers have also been an issue, averaging 15.1 per game, which can fuel opponents' transition attacks. The offensive engines are clear. Jalen Brunson leads New York with 26.2 points and 6.5 assists per game, shooting 46.5% from the field and 83.8% from the line while controlling the tempo of nearly every half-court possession. Alongside him, Karl Anthony Towns anchors the interior with 20.0 points and 11.9 rebounds, giving the Knicks both scoring gravity and rebounding dominance. Defensively, OG Anunoby sets the tone with 1.7 steals, while Mitchell Robinson protects the rim with 1.1 blocks per game. Utah's offense typically revolves around Lauri Markkanen, averaging 26.7 points on 47.7% shooting and nearly 90% from the free throw line, but his absence due to injury significantly alters the Jazz's scoring structure. Playmaking shifts toward Isaiah Collier, who leads the team with 7.3 assists per game, while interior work normally comes from Jusuf Nurkic with 10.4 rebounds, though he is also unavailable. Those missing pieces reshape Utah's identity entering this matchup. The core stylistic battle becomes clear. New York's rebounding strength and defensive stability versus Utah's pace and ball movement. Recent results reflect teams searching for rhythm. The Knicks have gone 2-3 in their last 5, highlighted by a dominant 142-103 win over Denver, but also tight and frustrating losses against the Clippers, Lakers, and Thunder. The offense remains productive, but consistency from night to night has fluctuated. Utah is 2-3 in its last 5, with wins over Golden State 119-116 and Washington 122-112, but defensive issues have hurt them in losses to Denver 128-125 and Milwaukee 113-99. They can score with anyone, but consistent defense remains the challenge. The key matchup is Brunson versus Utah's playmaker Collier. Brunson controls the game with precision, footwork, and pick-and-roll decision-making, while Collier pushes pace with creativity and quick distribution, rhythm versus acceleration. The game may hinge on tempo. If Brunson controls the pace, New York's offense runs smoothly. If Utah forces turnovers and speeds things up, the Jazz can create a chaotic scoring environment that favors them. New York holds advantages in rebounding, defense, and ball security. Towns' interior presence can pressure Utah's front court, while Anunoby's perimeter defense may disrupt Utah's ball movement. Utah's path relies on fast pace, strong shooting runs, and forcing mistakes. Still, the Knicks' balance in scoring efficiency, rebounding, and defensive structure gives them the more reliable edge. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is New York Knicks winner. New York's ability to control the glass and limit turnovers should eventually slow Utah's rhythm. Brunson's command of the offense and Towns' interior dominance create a steady advantage that builds as the game progresses. In the end, structure beats chaos, and the Knicks leave Salt Lake City with another win. My second pick for this match is total over 225.5, Houston Rockets versus Denver Nuggets. Two Western Conference contenders collide in Denver as the 39-24 Houston Rockets travel to Ball Arena to face the 39-26 Denver Nuggets in a matchup with playoff implications across the conference standings. Houston sits second in the Southwest Division, while Denver holds third in the Northwest. Both clubs firmly in the postseason picture, but still battling for seeding. The matchup carries extra intrigue because Denver has already taken 2 of the 3 meetings this season, including a 128-125 overtime thriller. Yet Houston enters with the firepower to flip the script. Denver holds the statistical edge in the matchup projection at roughly 60% to Houston's 40%. Setting the stage for a high-level showdown between 2 of the West's most skilled offensive teams. Houston brings a balanced attack averaging 114.6 points per game while allowing 109.9. They shoot an efficient 48% from the field and dominate the glass with 48.2 rebounds per night. Ball movement is steady with 24.7 assists, and defensively they generate activity with 8.8 steals and 5.9 blocks per game. Denver counters with one of the league's most explosive offenses, scoring 120.3 points per game on 49% shooting. Their offense thrives on fluid passing and spacing, producing 28.0 assists per game while committing just 12.3 turnovers. The Nuggets average 43.2 rebounds, along with 6.8 steals and 4.0 blocks defensively. Houston's offense revolves around Kevin Durant, who leads the team with 26.1 points per game on 51.0% shooting and an elite 88.9% from the free throw line. Alperen Sengun provides the interior engine with 20.4 points, 9.0 rebounds, and 6.1 assists, while also contributing 1.3 steals and 1.1 blocks. Amen. Thompson adds another dynamic layer with 17.6 points, 7.7 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. Denver is powered by Nikola Jokic, whose numbers are once again extraordinary. 28.9 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 10.3 assists per game, while shooting 57.5% from the field and 83.2% at the line. Jamal Murray contributes 25.4 points and 7.2 assists, while Aaron Gordon adds 17.3 points and 6.2 rebounds. Peyton Watson anchors the defensive side with 1.2 blocks per game. The defining theme is clear: Houston's rebounding and defensive activity against Denver's elite offensive efficiency and playmaking flow. Recent form adds another layer of urgency. Houston has gone 3-2 in its last 5 games, picking up wins over Washington, Utah, and Portland, including a strong 115-113 overtime victory against the Jazz. Their 2 losses came in high-scoring games against San Antonio and Miami, suggesting their offense remains productive, but defensive consistency has fluctuated. Denver enters on a 2-3 run with wins over Utah and the Lakers, but losses to Oklahoma City, New York, and Minnesota. Their offense remains strong, scoring at least 108 points in 4 of the 5 games, but late-game defense has been the main issue. Both teams arrive searching for rhythm, but Houston's recent wins show a slightly steadier trajectory. The spotlight naturally falls on the duel between Kevin Durant and Nikola Jokic. Durant remains one of the league's most lethal scorers, averaging 26.1 points with elite efficiency and scoring at all levels, which opens space for Houston's young core. Jokic, meanwhile, drives Denver's entire offense with 28.9 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 10.3 assists, controlling tempo and elevating teammates. Durant brings precise scoring, while Jokic provides total offensive control, a clash of contrasting styles at the heart of the matchup. Houston's tactical edge is rebounding and defensive disruption. Their strength on the glass and ability to create steals and blocks can spark transition, while Sengun's versatility helps challenge Denver inside without limiting the offense. Denver's advantage comes from offensive rhythm and passing efficiency. With nearly 28 assists per game, the Nuggets excel at breaking down defensive structures through ball movement and spacing. Jokic's presence forces defensive adjustments that open perimeter scoring for Murray and Gordon. Bench production and late-game execution could decide the game. Houston's youth may help push the pace, while Denver relies on its dependable half-court offense to close games. Perimeter shooting and Jokic's tempo control are key X factors. If Houston disrupts passing lanes, they can speed the game up. If Jokic sets the rhythm early, Denver becomes hard to stop. Expect a fast, high-scoring matchup, with Denver's home court and Jokic's playmaking giving them the edge. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Denver Nuggets winner. Denver's offensive flow and late-game execution should prove just enough to outlast Houston's scoring bursts, securing another critical Western Conference victory at Ball Arena. My second pick for this match is total over 115.5. Minnesota Timberwolves versus LA Clippers. The Western Conference race brings another high-stakes chapter as the 40-24 Minnesota Timberwolves, second in the Northwest Division, travel to Inglewood to face the 32-32 LA Clippers, sitting in the middle of the Pacific Division. Minnesota enters with a strong .625 winning percentage and momentum near the top tier of the conference, while Los Angeles is battling to stabilize its season and stay competitive in a crowded playoff picture. The season series already carries drama. Minnesota leads 2-1, including a narrow 109-106 win earlier in the matchup history, before the Clippers answered with a 115-96 victory. Now the stage shifts to the Intuit Dome for another pivotal meeting. The matchup projection leans toward Los Angeles with roughly a 59% edge, largely due to home court advantage and star power. But Minnesota's deeper statistical profile suggests a far more balanced battle than the numbers might initially indicate. Minnesota arrives with one of the league's more productive offenses, averaging 118.6 points per game, while the Clippers counter at 112.8 points. Both teams shoot 48% from the field, emphasizing efficiency rather than volume. The Timberwolves hold advantages in several key areas: 44.6 rebounds per game compared to 41.0, 26.2 assists to 23.4, 5.7 blocks to 4.7, and a slight edge in steals, 8.9 to 8.8. At the center of Minnesota's attack is Anthony Edwards, delivering 29.6 points per game while shooting 49.5% from the field and 79.1% from the free throw line. He is complemented by Julius Randle, who contributes 21.4 points and 5.3 assists, and defensive anchor Rudy Gobert, controlling the paint with 11.4 rebounds and 1.6 blocks per game. Los Angeles answers with its own elite trio. Kawhi Leonard leads the team with 27.9 points per game, shooting 49.8% from the field and an outstanding 90.6% from the free throw line, while also averaging 2.0 steals. James Harden orchestrates the offense with 25.4 points and 8.1 assists, while Ivica Zubac anchors the interior with 11.0 rebounds. Stylistically, Minnesota thrives on balance, efficient scoring paired with strong rebounding and rim protection. The Clippers lean heavily on shot creation and perimeter control through Leonard and Harden. That contrast defines the central theme of this matchup: Minnesota's structured, balanced attack versus the Clippers' star-driven offensive rhythm. Recent form adds another layer. Minnesota has gone 3-2 in its last 5 games, with wins over Toronto, Memphis, and Denver, but a recent stumble against Orlando, 119-92, that exposed defensive lapses. The Timberwolves' victories have generally come through controlled tempo and rebounding dominance. The Clippers, meanwhile, have also posted a 3-2 stretch, including strong offensive performances in wins against New York, 126-118, Memphis, 123-120, and Indiana, 130-107. Their losses against San Antonio and earlier defensive breakdowns have largely stemmed from inconsistency on that end of the floor. At the center of the spotlight is the duel between Anthony Edwards and Kawhi Leonard. Edwards attacks with explosive downhill scoring and aggressive shot creation, averaging nearly 30 points per game while carrying Minnesota's offensive energy. Leonard counters with surgical efficiency, elite mid-range scoring, defensive disruption, and steady composure. Around them, Harden's playmaking against Minnesota's interior defense, particularly Gobert's rim protection, could determine how easily the Clippers generate offense. Tactically, Minnesota's rebounding edge could control possessions and limit second chances for Los Angeles. Their superior assist numbers also suggest stronger ball movement, which can stretch the Clippers' defensive rotations. On the other side, the Clippers' late-game shot creators, Leonard and Harden, provide a crucial advantage in tight fourth quarters. If Los Angeles can space the floor and pull Gobert away from the rim, they create driving lanes and perimeter looks that shift momentum quickly. Bench production and defensive consistency remain key X factors. Minnesota's depth offers steady minutes and rebounding stability, while the Clippers rely heavily on their top creators. The ability of Los Angeles role players to hit perimeter shots could dramatically swing the outcome. Expect a competitive, high-level Western Conference clash defined by tempo control and star shot making. Minnesota's rebounding and balanced scoring should keep the game tight throughout, but Los Angeles's elite perimeter creators and home court energy may provide the final edge. After analyzing both teams, my first pick for this match is Los Angeles Clippers winner in a game where efficiency and shot creation will matter most. The Clippers' late-game scoring power and defensive playmaking give them just enough separation to protect home court. My second pick for this match is total over 225.5.